Espías Escondidas, señoras y señores. How are you guys?
Very good. How are you doing? Yeah.
Let the beat drop.
It has a lot of elements that we are expecting with like spies, comedy, Will Smith, animals. So how does this idea come from?
It is a crazy idea.
Yeah.
The chance for us to make a spy movie was too good to pass up. We both love spy movies, and the chance to make a big, action-packed spy movie that travels the world was a lot of fun. But it really did come down to the characters in there. The Lance Sterling, played by Will Smith, and Walter Beckett, played by Tom Holland, and the idea of exploring two characters who live in the world of espionage where you can't trust anybody or anything, having to learn to come together and trust each other in order to save the world was such a fascinating concept. And then you throw in the fact that we turn him into a pigeon, and it just gets crazier from there.
Walter Beckett graduated MIT at 15 and works in the Tech Innovations Lab.
There are so many gadgets I want to test in the field.
How difficult is to direct this whole orchestra? Because I know that you have been spent a lot of months or even years to deliver the final cut of the movie.
Listen, I mean, putting together anything could be difficult, but we've been so fortunate to, one, have each other.
Yes.
We have each other. But also we have 550 of some of the world's most brilliant artists at Blue Sky Studios. An incredible cast, great music. I mean, we feel the support all the way through, so it feels like our job as directors is to really just water those seeds and allow some of those flowers to just grow and do what they do best.
Was the world's greatest spy. Look at your boy, Sleepy Night Night. And then you turn him into a pigeon.
How is the process to make it? Because I don't know if you have the script first, the first draws, the actor doing the scenes. You can change something in the recording voice. How is the process?
Yeah, it is all of that happening simultaneously. You start with a great story at the beginning and some ideas. You start building your designs and what is this world going to look like. But it's a little bit of everything, because you have the script written, but then you work with the actors, and as you're working with them, like Tom and Will are great collaborators. They like to play in the booth, and that's the one place we get to be spontaneous. So we'll try different ideas, and we'll come up with different lines. And then, of course, that necessitates going back and adjusting the story a little bit. And then you'll go and you'll record different lines, and that'll change something. And then you give it to the story artist who comes up with a crazy idea, and you're like, that's fantastic. The idea is, when we started this movie, I think we both clearly pictured, we knew what this movie looked like. The goal of being a director, the challenge of it is, you want the movie to be so much more than that. If we'd made the movie we had in our heads right away, we would have loved it. And the fact that you get to bring in all of these other talented people to sort of play in your sandbox, it becomes a movie even better than you could have hoped.
Better unbird me right now.
Technically, you kind of birded yourself.
I'm hurt this boy.
What comes first, the election of the cast, or based in the cast you make the design of the characters? You know,
It's a little hand in glove.
Yeah, I mean, for this project, first was really the story and figuring out who those characters are, right? So like you start there, then from there you start to figure out who might play that. You know, when we really started, we were trying to think of who is Lance Sterling. Mm-hmm. We know what he had to embody. He had to be charismatic. He had to be cool. He had to be a great action character and funny and smart. There's so many things. And also he had to stand up against James Bond, Jason Bourne, Ethan Hunt, right? Some of the best out there. So we look back to who are our heroes growing up. Who did that best? And it was Will Smith.
Yeah, because physically it's like the same. That it's like based in the physics of
a little bit, but you know what? Honestly, the design came first, and then what ends up happening is you have your animators. When they start to animate them, they really study Will Smith. When we got Will Smith, they study all his mannerisms, his actions, and they sprinkle that into the animation in the film. And it's funny how he'll actually feel and move more like Will Smith than he actually looks like.
Hello, Agent Sterling.
Let the beat drop.
How does this spice come to a pigeon? It's a crazy thing, right?
It is crazy, and in all the best ways possible. The idea is turning a person to a pigeon seems nuts, which is a lot of Walter's gadgets seem a little bit different, a little bit weird is the word we use in the movie. But when you really look at them, they make perfect sense. I mean, a pigeon is the perfect spy. They're in every major city around the world, so they don't stand out. They wouldn't be noticed. They can fly really fast, up to 92.7 miles an hour. Because they can fly so fast, they see at a higher speed than we do. We call it pigeon bullet time. So they can dodge and attack. And they've got these eyes on the side of their head, so they can see in almost 360 degrees, which means they can see your face and their butt at the same time, so you can't sneak up on that guy. They can also see UV light, which means they could see perimeter lasers and sensors. So once you start to realize all of the amazing things pigeons can do, you go, that is the perfect spy. So it was a no-brainer.
Lance, look at me.
Look at you? I can see my butt and your face at the same time.
That is so cool.
How do you feel with this environment with a lot of options of animation, and now you're part of this franchise or this company that has Pixar, Disney Animation, Blue Sky? It's like a crazy thing. A lot of stories, a lot of movies. Right. How can you work together all in the same boat?
Well, listen, you know, I'm sure it goes for all of them. When you're working on a film, you're just thinking about your film. You're thinking about your artist and the story that you want to tell. And we've just been lucky with Disney. You know, it's one of the biggest mergers in entertainment history. But when they came in, they were really just supportive of our ideas and the story we wanted to tell, and it really wasn't any issue. It was just good.
That was tight.
Did anyone else see a pigeon?
Are we going to watch some reference about all the spies that you said and all the history of spies that we have?
There's all kinds. Like, listen, this movie is a love letter to spy movies. So there's all kinds of little hidden references and Easter eggs. A lot of things to watch the movie over and over again and catch little moments that we pay homage. So there's a lot in there.
Let's get weird.
Boom.
Which is your favorite spy ever?
Favorite spy?
Lance Sterling.
Yeah, he is.
Perfect. Thank you very much, guys, and nice to meet you. And we're going to watch your work and
Great.
everything in
Absolutely.
Spies in Disguise.
Nice
Thank
to
you.
meet you.
Thank you.
Nos vemos en el cine. Bye.
We have different skill sets. That's what makes us such a great team.
Walter, you're squeezing too. Oh! What happens in the submarine stays in the submarine.